Hari Om to everybody.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
This is the way in which we address everybody. Hari Om stands for the indwelling and all-pervading reality. At least when we repeat that, we are getting connected to it, even if it's for a short time. Life stands for expansion. A seed, at the seed level, it remains like that. It will be of no use. But when the same seed is sowed in the earth, after making necessary preparation, like loosening the soil, adding a little bit of manure, watering it, nurturing it, and in a week's time or 10 days' time, or in a 15 days' time, or in a month's time, the seed sprouts. It becomes a seedling. Again we keep on nurturing it. It becomes a plant, then becomes a tree. Initially it draws its energy from sun, air, earth, water. Later on it gives back to the nature in the form of oxygen and in so many ways. So our life also started from the seed level. And when during the 9.5 months in our mother's womb, it started expanding with 200 and odd organs, and when it came out, it needed so many things to exist, like air to breathe, water to drink, earth to exist, space to move about, 98.4 degree Fahrenheit to keep it alive, to keep it dynamic, active, creative, productive. And then it needs trees, metals, minerals, gases. And as it grows, it needs a lot of creature comforts one by one. That is also provided by the same power who gave the seed in the form of human beings to discover, invent, innovate, so many things. That is why we are what we are now. The word yoga is given to us by our preceptors and the Shastras, made to make us aware of the source of our sources. You might be knowing the meaning of yoga. Yoga means union with God. It is an effort to connect ourselves to the very source from which we have all come. And all these things we are enjoying now, it has come from this expansion. Expansion from the individual to the universal. Mother Nature gives unconditionally in the form of trees and everything, air, everything. And through human beings, when all these creature comforts are given to us, it is available to everybody. It is not, none of the people who have brought it out specified the beneficiary. So the theory of expansion, the process of expansion, knowingly or unknowingly takes place in our life. But there will be charm and beauty in our life if we really understand that the life is on a process of expansion from the individual to universal. Here comes the relevance of yoga. Through various methods, through various presentation by various Mahatmas who have scaled the heights, they place before us this theory of expansion through the words yoga. You might be knowing that Patanjali's Yoga Shastra. It is a comprehensive formula for expansion. This is something on which we cannot be lost sight of. When he lists about it, the first comes yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Yama and niyama are the do's and don'ts. The first tips for expansion. How do I relate myself with the rest of the creation? For all that the creation has given to me, how do I relate myself? These are called the values. Human values, spiritual values, social values, personal values, and there are certain do's and don'ts. So first, our attention is drawn to these basic concepts. Whatever is not to be seen, whatever is not to be heard, whatever is not to be touched, whatever is not to be done by any of our sense organs, there is that control, self-control. Why is the self-control? To pool our entire energy to keep up the values. Otherwise it gets punctured. So for all that, we need this equipment called the body. This is the residence where the spirit dwells, because of which the mind and intellect functions, because of which various activities on expansion and creation takes place. So then comes the asana and pranayama, by which we try to maintain a healthy body. Otherwise our attention will be drawn to the body. If it is not healthy, that particular organ or the particular problem or ailment draws our attention fully. With the result, our process of expansion gets stunted. So, the yuktahara viharasya, in Bhagavad Gita he says, we should have self-control in everything so that the body is maintained properly. And when we start attending yoga classes, first tangible gain we see is regularity. Second thing is commitment. Third thing is focused attention. Fifth one is whole-souled involvement. These are all the tangible gains. Various asanas when we perform. This particular time, I have to go for a yoga class. No? Regularity. Self-discipline. Suppose we eat too much, we may not be able to. So automatically, when we have become conscious of this fact, that this body, deho devalaya prokto, in Bhagavad Gita. We have to keep the body because he is residing in this body. So these residents have to be kept clean, healthy. Then the brain has to become alert, vigilant, so that it can unearth so many potentialities that are lying within. The creativity comes, the productivity comes, the efficiency comes. When we say efficiency in Bhagavad Gita, he says, what is yoga? Samatvam yoga muchyate. Number one, yoga karmasu kaushalam. Dexterity in action, efficiency in action is yoga. Maintaining equanimity at all levels, at all times, under all circumstances is yoga. We should not forget that this is a process of expansion. From me to we to him. No? So as we keep on doing this yogic exercise, whenever we feel that we are harmoniously connecting ourselves with the rest of the creation, we can take it that the process of expansion is taking place. Harmony at home, harmony at the workplace, harmony with friends, society. This is the expressive forms of expansion. So yoga teaches, yoga guides us, yoga directs us, pointing out the ultimate goal to be reached. And when we are involved, nobody will be able to do the yogic exercise throughout the waking state. Because God has also given us family, profession, society. So this should not be lost sight of. So whenever I attend a yogi class, with this right perspective, that it is for expansion from the present level to a higher level, then from the little more higher level, then from a little more higher level, that means the expansion of the love circle gets widened. If I am conscious of this, at these three tiers, namely the family, profession and the society, I will be able to bring it. To the extent I am conscious of this during my yogic exercise, to that extent I will be able to expand. We will be a useful person to the society. We will be a harmonious being in our family. We will be a conscientious and efficient member of the team or a group of the professional institution. Whether I am a CEO, whether I am a clerk, whether I am a peon, whether I am a caretaker, whether I am a project manager, wherever I am, I will be able to bring out the maximum efficiency, because that is yoga. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. If we have this comprehensive view, slowly we will be moving towards the ultimate. As Lariji explained, we come from Kerala, Ananda Ashram, Kerala, India, South India, where our Gurudev, Param Pujya Swami Ramdas, endearingly called by devotees as beloved Papa, while setting up the ashram in 1931, he made it clear that the ideal of the ashram is universal love and service based upon the vision of divinity. Based upon the vision of divinity stands for yoga. Because yoga stands for union with God. So that means I will be able to slowly identify the common factor in all of us. That is how the expansion takes place. Anything that is common in anybody, immediately it touches affinity towards him, closeness towards him. So through yoga, through any other spiritual discipline, ultimately we are trying to identify the common factor. And when once this common factor is at least intellectually understood, and later on we are on the move to translate this, actualize this in our day-to-day life, tremendous relief comes to us. Ordinarily, we are subjected to so many stress. So how to move to the serenity? Only by expansion. If from our present level, if we start dealing with it, we will be always subjected to these conflicts, stress, frustration, disappointments, because many things will not move in the way in which we want. So every time we will be going through that periods of stress. Here the relevance of yoga. Because samatvam yogamuchyate. Yama niyama gives the foundation, asana and pranayama builds it up, and then finally leads us to the samadhi. Samadhi means what? Not merely sitting. A journey toward the ultimate goal, where the individual becomes aware of the fact that he is a part and parcel of the cosmic power. The cosmic power which is dwelling within, I am not aware, but through these various processes, I slowly start getting a glimpse of that power, and the moment I am blessed with that glimpse, I will be striving my level best, not only to see in me, but also to see in others. This is what our spiritual preceptors, in different times and different climes, they have experimented, they have researched, they have plumbed deep and brought forth. This final expansion, Papa puts it in a beautiful form. The life principle that activates all beings is the same. We all breathe the same air, walk on the same earth, and are equally entitled to the enjoyment of the amenities which nature provides. The earth yields its rich gift to all alike. So also all the creature comforts, including the language gifted by society. The differences between man and man on the material plane are in truth unnatural and improper. For the component parts and composition of human bodies and the qualities inherent in them are not diverse and conflicting. If we look with the pure vision that belongs to the enlightened mind, we do not see any clear-cut line of demarcation that isolates man from man, one set of people from another, one nation from another. We are indeed parts of a stupendous whole. We are units that form the world community or family, so we can live and act as members of a world-brotherhood or federation. The Maha Upanishad says, Ayam nirah paroveti ganana lagu chetasam udara charidanam tu vasudaiva kutumbakam. Consideration like he is mine, he is another occur only to the narrow-minded person. To the broad-minded person, the whole world is a family. So true religion or spirituality therefore signifies the linking of the individual soul with the cosmic soul. The soul does not belong to any caste, creed, race or nationality. Its nature is universal. Inherently, it is pure, enlightened, free and blissful. So the process of expansion. We have to just watch. That is why the last quotation. The world we live in is a school in which observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. Nay, the world itself is our Guru or God. So far we have been taking everything as granted. When we use the amplifier, the mic, we take it as granted, that's all. We hardly remember who has authored it, who has brought it out, in whose mind the first concept came. Unknowingly he is reaching out to us. Whether he is in body or not, we don't know. But he is reaching to millions and millions and millions of people. When I start observing this, I will also think, what is my contribution towards this? Every moment we are breathing, Do we become aware of our breathing? Pranayama helps us to remember. Deep inhaling, retaining, exhaling. We don't know the practice you are having it. In our place, we have been told 4, 16, 8. You count 4 to inhale, 16 to retain, 18 to 8 to. So that means we become the ultimate end, apart from its contribution towards my brain and the general body, I become aware of the breathing. In the normal course, we are not even aware of the breathing. It goes on by itself, by default. So we are not aware. So in that way, suppose we try to integrate whatever exercises we are doing and whatever the Lord has defined through various shastras about yoga. When we combine this and put it into our daily life, it is not to be limited to the yogic period, the class period, but it percolates, the theme of it percolates into our thought, and the process of expansion slowly starts. Asanas, pranayamas, both these help us to become aware of the relevance of the body. Otherwise, we are not taking care of the body. Only when the disease comes, we take care of it. Otherwise, we eat, that's what we sleep. We are not aware of it. But here, during the asanas, when you sit on different asanas, you become aware of the organs God has gifted us. 200 and odd organs. Well set, well coordinated. Each one not trespassing into another's territory. So this yogic exercise, we take it that it makes us aware of the bounteous gifts given to us, like this body and the mind intellect. So BMI, put it not by BMI complex, body mind intellect complex, has been gifted to us by him for this expansion. And he makes us to watch. The trees gives with no condition, no? The oxygen. It enables the rains to come. It enables to keep the soil fertile, productive. None of it is wasted. When the leaves or the flowers or the fruits are dropped, it gets again decomposed, becomes a natural through mulch, and it gives back to the tree. Those things we start learning. That's why he said the world we live in is a school in which observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. Nay, the world itself is our guru or God. Right from the minutest to the grossest, if we try to start seeing it, probably we may be able to learn a few lessons. That will help us in our family life, professional life, social life. So expansion, we started with that word expansion. Expansion from the limited to the unlimited, from the finite to the infinite, from me to we. This is the goal of our life. This is the purpose of our life. And that is why when everyone is involved in this, knowingly or unknowingly, they are contributing it. So if you also consciously contribute, there is a joy welling up in us. So through so many avenues, so many clues, the indwelling Lord who makes us to say these few words, who makes you all to hear these words, who makes you to see us, who makes us to see you, that power, which is the indwelling and all-pervading reality, it gives us ample opportunities for us because it is available to everybody. Even when we close our eyes and think, we have not recognized the presence of that power. We have been thinking only from the me and mine level. But still, the reality, the power, God, does not get offended by our neglect, our ignorance, our ignoring Him. We don't worship him, we don't salute him, we don't say thanks to him, but still he continues to give us everything. We don't know the practice you are doing it. After so many yogasanas and pranayamas, we are supposed to have the shavasana, no? The practice we learned. We go from the tip. It is an effort to remember every organ. Relax your feet, relax your calf muscle, relax your knees, relax your thighs, relax your buttocks, relax your back, relax your belly, relax your chest, relax your hands, shoulders, relax your head. Suddenly we become aware. We were not taking cognizance of all these. Each one performing its duty wonderfully without any acknowledgement from us. That Shavasana itself, normally we say to take relax. That relaxation, we also add 3 more. I don't know whether it is there in your practice. We inhale 3. At that time we say, we are inhaling the oxygen. We are exhaling the excess of carbon dioxide, which fact we did not know. The next one we say is, we inhale cold, we exhale heat. We inhale, we have added one more. We inhale me to me, we exhale me to we. There is a conscious effort on our part to become aware of the bounteous gifts given by God in the form of body, mind, intellect, and also a reminder that it is all meant for expansion, expansion, expansion. The Master beautifully says, we have to get out of the toils of individualism. We have to liberate ourselves from the cocooned life, where we think only about the me and mine, whereas we are what we are because of the factors other than us, which fact we have conveniently forgotten. So a little application of this will give us tremendous relief. Today somebody was asking, suppose we have individual ambition, how does it relate to spirituality? Yes, ambition is necessary. Urge to know, probing nature, all these things are necessary. But only thing is the end product should not be limited to me and mine. So if I have to become creative and productive, my health should be all right, my mind should be serene, calm. We had Ram Nam now. It is the chanting of any name, bhajans, music, it has got an art of drawing our mind to a particular point. The mind by itself is always going out, distracted. To get it focused on its own, at least for a few moments, when we hear a particular raga, tune, for a thrice, for a minute, for a few seconds, we are tasting the calmness which is inside us. So like that, we keep on thinking about all these things. So ultimately, yoga or any spiritual discipline should enable us to raise ourselves from the present level to a higher level, again to a higher level, and then to the highest level which has been pointed out by all spiritual preceptors. Through 4 Mahavakyas in Indian system, you might have heard Prajnanam Brahma, Ayamatma Brahma, Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi. It's process of expansion. Knowledge is Brahman, that is Brahman, you are Brahman, I am Brahman. Previously I was thinking about me and mine. I have unknowingly, unwittingly, I have placed myself in a small cage. So there should be a process by which I will be able to declare I am everything. That is the final expansion. So for that, all our spiritual discipline should help us. And yoga is a beautiful word because it immediately reminds us, touches, connects us with that indwelling reality. And the very mention of yoga immediately connects you to that. You might be knowing that Srimad Bhagavad Gita is known as Yoga Shastra. Every chapter ends with keeps on reminding us, hammering us. Every chapter ends with that mantra. Yoga Shastre Krishnarjuna Sambhade Vishada Yogo Nama Prathamodhyaya. There will be Yoga Shastri, Yoga Shastri, Yoga Shastri. So then previously we were not. The moment we heard yoga, we only think about asanas. We never applied. Where are you going? I am going to the yoga class. Yoga teacher, yoga exercise. So we were not knowing. But when the spiritual perceptors opened our eyes, yoga stands for union with God, then slowly, everything is joining together. All my activities are aimed toward this, which is called expansion. So far I have been thinking about the me and mine. Now the effort is there to identify the cosmic reality which is in me, which is making me, activating me, pulsating me to function as an individual. So the individual functions at the outer level, at the same time getting grounded, riveted to this substratum, the base. And when we keep on doing it, we have found that the so-called stress, because stress is labeled by our mind. So ultimately through all these yogic exercise, we are able to handle the mind properly, which is the one which labels as frustration, as disappointment, as dispiritedness, as anxiety, as sense of insecurity. All these things are labeled by our mind. So through these processes, we are trying to develop a technique, a wonderful technique by which the mind can be handled beautifully in all circumstances. Something happens which is not in line with our expectation, we get shaken, no doubt. For a moment or two we may get shaken, but in the shortest possible time we will be able to pull us back and put us on the serene, calm and quiet state. And from there we will start viewing the incident or situation or person or object. That means we are trying to raise ourselves. Samatvam yoga muchyate. Equanimity is yoga. The moment we are going nearer to that equanimity, you will find mysteriously the tension does not exist. The anxiety, its seriousness is lessened. We will be able to face everything calmly. We will not be able to avoid anything. Nothing can be changed in the scheme of things outside. But a revolutionary change happens in our life, where we try to view everything. Drastic change. Previously, a particular incident, we would have reacted in impulsive way. Now we have the control. Yama niyama. To be followed by asanas, pranayama, pratyahar, withdrawal, dharana, and dhyana, and samadhi. So let us all pray to him to bless us with a mental state where we try to transform every thought, every word, every deed for the sake of expansion. Not that we are changing anything externally, but it is purely an internal process. And we will know for ourselves to what extent it has benefited us. And when it has benefited us, automatically it will benefit others also. When I get angry, not only that I become miserable, I make others miserable. When I am happy, not only that my mind becomes full, others also become happy. A smiling face to welcome, no? Without any language it can convey. It touches and kindles the happiness in others. So these are all the facts you might be knowing, but since we have been asked to say a few words, we thought we would share this as a part of our sadhana. Anything more, if you would like to have us discuss, we will share if possible, whatever he provides us.
You can ask questions if you have any.
You can't stop.
Don't say questions. They are sharing.
Their point of view. Okay, good.
Swamiji, how to keep the God remembrance, the Ramnam, from being mechanical? How to keep it devotional?
In ashram, our Gurudev said, easiest way, it is not easy, but easy in the sense it can be applied easily, that's all. Because no time, no precondition. As soon as you get up, you can start. While walking, while going, while bathing, while doing any exercise, anything, that easiness is referred to that. It is not easy, but easiness in the methodology. So when we keep on chanting the name of one who is inside and with the knowledge that he is making me to chant, even if it is done for a few minutes, it will have its tremendous impact. And suppose I take something and request you to stretch your tongue. I put it. You feel it, no? Nice, very nice, very nice. You will never forget it. So the Nama, when uttered with all sincerity and with this consciously, that he is the one who is making me to chant. And when once we get the taste, wherever it is possible, in whatever way he makes us to engage, we will try to chant and remember him. Individual chanting, congregational chanting, both are all right. But individual congregational chanting helps us to take up individual chanting. And there are three types of chanting. One is this vocal. Second is the silent. Third one is the mental. Parampuji Papa says mental chanting will be far more effective. That comes only out of regular systematic practice. So first we take to vocal chanting. Om, any mantra. In ashram, for the sake of uniformity, we chant Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. And this Ram stands for this cosmic reality. Papa defines it as the subtle and mysterious power. The power because of which we are seeing now. No? Simple. Power because of which we know we are. That power. So that is the power which is making us to chant. So when we start chanting it with that bhavana, consciously chanting, that means knowingly chanting, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. I must hear my own chanting. This will enable us to arrest the outgoing tendencies of the mind. Suppose again with all this precaution it goes out. It will go. No doubt. Immediately open your eyes, chant. Again start. There is no shortcut. Just like when we learned cycling, how many times we fall, bruises, pains, but we don't leave it. Perseverance. Ultimately, we get the balance. Balance is not coming from outside, coming from inside. Then we will not fall. So similarly, the mind's nature is always to go out. Because right from young age, we have been taught to see things, to hear things, to touch things, to taste things, to smell things, All out, out, out. Nowhere, at no point, we have been told to go inward. So it has to be, it's a tough job, uphill task. So every time we try, when we fail, we open, restart, we open, restart, open, restart. When we have got some control over it, the next stage can be silent chanting, where the sound will not come, the tongue and lip will move, but you will chant, you will hear. This is the toughest, little more circular than the first one. Mind will immediately go. Again you will try. Keep on trying. And then the final graduation is mental chanting, where the tongue will, sound will not come, the lip and tongue will not move, but you will chant, you will hear. The moment the mind goes out, open, restart, open, restart, open, restart, one day we will be blessed with a precious experience where we are aware of the chanting. The question comes, who is aware, who is chanting? Chanting stops. It might be only for a trice, like this. Again the thought will come. But we have been led into. We have been given a peep into the core of our being. And Papa here wants, this will become successful only when, during our non-chanting time, our activity should be compatible with this aspiration. So I suppose I am a short-term bird person. Suppose I have got cravings for so many things. Suppose I want to enjoy only for myself. And when I sit for Ram Nam, it will not cooperate. So that means my outer activity should be compatible. This is the word he used. That means it should in conformity with my aim. So that means slowly the expansion should take place, the values should take place. Righteousness, honesty, straightforwardness, sincerity, dedication, efficiency, all these will go. This should be, these are all the supplementary factors or the supportive factors for enabling me to get a peep into the core of my being. So first we start with Nama chanting. Nobody will be able to chant throughout the waking state. So 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or half an hour, or on holidays or when you visit such spiritual centers, you may be able to chant more. But during the non-chanting time, if we develop this, as we said, the expansion, when we look at anything, we try to go to the source. Papa used to say, go to your own and the world, origin of your and the world. We are sitting in a chair. When there was no chair in the world, he made somebody to. That's why we are sitting now. We need not tom-tom, but inside, we become aware of this reality. Everything has been provided by you. You, the great provider, through your many creation, has been providing till this moment. What will I? So how can I think about only me and mine? So whenever you express, it will be expressed in 4 ways. A touch of love, a touch of perfection, a touch of dedication, a touch of gratitude. So Nama chanting should be followed by or coupled with these four elements, by which we slowly recognize nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. So when we fold the chair and keep it, we won't do it in a half-assed way. When we leave the chappal or shoe there, we won't do it. We will recognize its utility, how it came from, how it benefits me, and how I am unaware of the author. I am unaware of the person who invented or innovated or discovered. Still, I am enjoying it. Slowly, I will be able to concentrate more and more on Nama chanting. This is called Seva. There's a triune path he has suggested, Nam, Seva, Dhyan. So Nama is to remember him. Seva is to, because we are active, we have to be active in the world. So at the action level also we try to bring. And then Dhyana helps us to move through this mental chanting. In the Vedantic language, as we keep on doing this mental chanting, the awareness that makes us feel we are chanting, it is called witness consciousness, Sakshi Bhav. The indwelling and all-pervading reality expresses in the form of witness. You know that you are chanting. Even now it is there. You know that you are looking. You know that you are sitting. That knowing principle, awareness. The moment we are driven or motivated to taste the presence of that consciousness, then, just like we said, when somebody puts some sweetness on our tongue, we will always remember that. So we will even when we are active in the outside world, at the family level, professional level, social level, this we will not lose sight of, we will not forget. And that is why our Gurudev says, even the period ever so small, at any time, at any place, hold on to the name. It will immediately connect. Because we have not been used to it, So the mind will identify everything as an object, everything as an outside situation, everybody as an outsider. These are all theory, inside the room it's okay. But when we are actually plunging ourselves into an individual life, there is every likelihood that our old me and mind will come and take charge of us. So we have to be alert. So that is why he said, whenever we are walking to the car, even in the shortest possible, one Nama. While we stop and get down, one Nama. Like that he says, even the period ever so small, try to remember him. In Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Tasma sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. At all times and in all places, remember me and fight the battle of life. So remember me, remember me, remember me. So chanting is for remembrance, that we should know. Otherwise, we have ourselves understood that. Chanting goes on, mind goes on somewhere. Mind does not get concentrated on it. Because we are not aware. We were told to chant, we chanted. We were told to write, we write. But this chanting and writing is to remember whom, the indwelling reality, who makes me to chant, who makes me to write. Not an outer one. So these are all the thoughts. They have scaled the heights through following this. So it is not a theory, it is a revelation. Applied spirituality. Anything else?
Swamiji, what does surrender mean?
The sense of individuality who has been arrogating that I am the doer, I am the sufferer, I am the enjoyer, I am the creator. I plan, I do, I gain, I lose. This sense realizes that it owes its origin to this principle. Immediately it gets automatically tamed. So instead of using active voice, mentally we will be using passive voice. That is, I am made to talk, I am made to think, I am made to act. I am made to lose, I am made to gain. I am made to succeed, I am made to fail. Like that so many. One aspect. Another aspect of surrender is accept everything as they are, without grumbling, without complaining. J. Krishnamurti used to make it as choiceless remembrance. Sri Anandamaya used to say, if you accept everything as it is, without choosing, that is surrender. That means accepting everything as they are, not as expected by us, colorized by us. When we fall, naturally there may be bruises or a fracture. Naturally, it has to happen. So I don't make a big fuss about it. It pains me, no doubt. But I will know, when some derailment takes place, it has to have its own reaction. Simple. You may not be knowing probably, there was a time in India, we were all drawing water from the well. There will be a pulley, a rope is tied to a vessel, and it will be lowered, and it will be made to fill, and then we draw it. As children, we used to miss that hole. It falls. And we have to get somebody who can go, get down and take it out. We used to feel terribly disappointed. Then later on we started thinking, when you lose it will go down. Get yourself, go for a remedial measure. Why do you make such a big fuss? Accepting it, natural. We were told, in the law of gravity, when Newton was sitting under a tree, the apple fell. He started thinking, why should it not go up? No? So he was able to, the natural law he was able to declare. Accepting everything, and trying to find out the source. Surrender means we are accepting everything as they are. And Eckhart Tolle beautifully puts it so that everybody can easily understand without troubling to go through all this. If you don't ask anything that happens, why? You have surrendered. The why and whereof will not come. Oh, say, right. That's all. Highest stage. That means everything is in the scheme of things. When he brought out this creation, he has also set up laws which cannot be violated. Just like in our jurisprudence, we say, ignorance of law is no excuse. Ignorance of that law also is no excuse. We have to pay for it. So then why we make such a big fuss? It has to happen. When we violate, we get violated. That's all. So we don't make a fuss, we don't make complaint. We immediately do whatever is to be done. That's all. This is also another form of equanimity. Yoga, samatvam yoga muchyate. Where you are always this thing. Somebody said, one example, very, 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 very thought-provoking example. Surrender is something like, suppose in a cup full of water, you are given a spoon, you take 1 spoon of water. Do you see any dent? The leveling immediately does. No? Its nature is leveling, So water teaches this wonderful principle of surrender. Don't worry, you take 2 spoons, 3 spoons, I will always be at level. When we draw water from the well, we don't see, immediately there is a dent. There is no impact. The leveling goes on automatically. So whatever happens, it's all right. I am always. So to understand equipoise, the best one is the water. Go and see the water. How the leveling takes place like this. It doesn't take much time at all. No time at all. We will not be able to know the drawing the water and the leveling, It is so instantaneous. So whatever happens, the master, there is a book, you will see, In Quest of God. When in 1920, he was prompted from within. And in 1920 to 22, with the help of Nama chanting, not merely chanting, meditative chanting, ceaseless repetition of Ram Nam, coupled with or side by side with meditation on the all-pervading reality, indwelling and all-pervading reality, that hastened his spiritual journey, and in 2 years' time he could get stabilized. Then he knew he is everywhere. So why should we unnecessarily put a wall and say, this is mine? So he wanted to fling himself, that is the word used, throw himself out and see whether the same mental attitude remains with him. And that throughout the saga, he was subjected to go through various types of experiences, but the leveling was instantaneously done. At no time there was grumbling, no complaint, nothing. Wherever he was, whatever be the circumstances, that quietude, that equanimity, he was able to keep up throughout. That is why that book is so powerful. We take it as a manual for our daily life. It is not a narrative of the experience of a spiritual aspirant, from a spiritual aspirant to a saint. He was Vittal Rao by name. The transition from Vittal Rao to Swami Ramdas. It was explicit there. There also it starts with stress, ends with serenity. First chapter opens with stress. The same word used, full of stress. The last line of the last chapter says, Ramdas now leads a serene life. So immediately we thought, this is the take-home message for all of us. From stress to serenity, provided we bring out all these dimensions in our workaday life. It may not be very clear, but somewhere near we may be going. Because surrender can, Safai will say, surrender ultimately becomes a reality only when the starting point and the ending point becomes one. The seeker and the sought after, it becomes one. Until such time the sense of individuality is there in a subtle form, it is subject to all these things. So the final surrender takes place only when the sense of individuality totally merges. Just like a river merges in the ocean, it loses its identity, Then only the surrender can become fully complete. So we can move towards that and we will be enjoying it, and that will lead us to that, as has been promised by Mahatmas.
Swamiji, can you speak about ashram living and the importance of living together, seeking God together?
It may give us a boost. But it is always preferable. Papa used to bluntly say that. You draw inspiration from the life and mission of Mahatmas, but ultimately it has to come from within. Otherwise what happens is, we will be concentrating only on the external guides. Initially we may get inspired, later on we will see them as individual, we will try to see defects in them, and whatever inspiration we have got initially, it gets automatically punctured. And we are there where we were. So better draw the inspiration, stay alone, try to assimilate, try to implement. Whenever you are in doubt, again seek. So permanently staying in an ashram will not help. Once in a way, going and drawing the inspiration. But when we go there, we should know why we are going. Otherwise, we will be missing the opportunity. Suppose we adore them personally. We do offer them namaskars, offer them flowers, but we don't take what he stands for. Papa used to say that we go to a saint not because of his physical presence, because of the ideal he represents. You have heard about that person. Or when you see him, something touches and gets kindled in you. That means some ideal, broad-mindedness, self-effacement, love for all, quality care and concern for all, simple living, honesty, straightforwardness, innocence. These things, these are the things, some of the things which attracts us. So we should hold on to that ideal. An ideal is impersonal. It cannot be, how do I know that it is nice? I see the person. He reaches out to many, knowingly or unknowingly. The expansion has already taken place. So I get myself rooted in the ideal and remove the person from the scene and try to dwell upon the ideal. Whenever I feel there is an aberration, there is a dilution, I rush up to the form again. Draw the inspiration of the impersonal, come back again, concentrate on the impersonal. Again I may lose, go to him again. That's why today morning we were sharing. Shankaracharya in Vivek Chudamani said, Durlabam trayamevai tadu Devanugraha hetukam Manishyatvam mumukshatvam mahabhurusha samshreya. These three things are very rare. Very, very rare. What are the three things? It can only be had by, not by my effort, only by Devanugraham. It's by the grace of God. And what are the three things? First thing is a human birth. Second thing is a desire to expand, mumukshatva, liberate myself from the clutches of narrow-minded, me and mine. And the third one is association with great souls. Because that is the source of perennial inspiration for us. And when we get more and more attached to the ideal, we will not develop any cult. Anybody who stands for ideal inspires us. So the God first directs us to a spiritual preceptor, Guru, who makes us aware of the ideal. And then what is the litmus test? We see the ideal in as many people as possible. First in the Mahatmas, then in our family people, then in our workplace, then in our society. Any act of our colleague, any act of our boss, any act of our customer, we will take it, something is there. In our family we may find parents, brothers, sisters, uncles, grandfather. Somebody stands for this ideal, we will immediately note that. And in the friend circle also. So ideal. So when we go to an institution and get ourselves without this background, if we join the institution, there is every likelihood that our progress gets stunted. Papa puts it bluntly, a plant cannot go under a tree. It has to be independent. Initially you need some support. But later on that support has to be withdrawn. Then only it will blossom in its own way. Otherwise he has used the word, in 60s you will become a human robot. This is not to belittle the importance of a spiritual institution. It is like you are going for an orientation course. You go there and come back, so that you become efficient. Your expertise gets expressed, your skill gets improved, your presentation becomes more impressive. You don't stay there. Similarly, we go there, draw the necessary inspiration, get back, in our own field we try to blossom. Anything else?
Swamiji,
Yeah.
so can you talk about the brahmacharya, how someone as a family life can follow the brahmacharya?
How someone can follow brahmacharya in family life?
According to what we understand, brahmacharya means total comprehensive control, not one particular aspect. And no doubt, brahmacharya, to become a celibate while continuing while being a member of the family, it is not possible, okay. But we also have some control. It is necessary. So we develop our own discipline, by which the vitality remains with us. The more we become conscious of this, to become more and more vital, it slowly relieves us from the mind going towards the sense pleasures. Not merely one. Sense organs have got a habit of going towards sense objects. If we try to control one organ, no. So in every way, that is why in Bhagavad Gita he says in yoga, yuktahara viharasya yukta cheshta. In my food, in my sleep, in my activity, in everything, I create a boundary. And that will give us the needed self-control. And ultimately a stage may come when, we have seen many, the couple takes a decision to go along with this. It may be a tall order now, but first of all we try to exercise our control in all areas, not in one particular area. This yoga helps us with this perspective. And you will be able to draw your own norms. Anybody from outside cannot give you this. Each one is unique. Each one's taste, temperament, aptitude, preferences, priorities, inclination is different. So a general prescription cannot help. One has to draw out one's own after trial and error method. Whether I am in a position to hold on to this particular control. How do I fill in my mind with something positive that will pull me up? As soon as the craving comes for anything through these 5 sense organs, immediately I pull it up. There this surrender will help, nama will help, yoga will help. So when we are involved in all these things, if that is also there in our mind, it will help. That is why it is named as brahmacharya. Always reveling on the Brahman, not seeing it as an object. So always we are reminded of the source of me and source of objects. Not merely continence, celibacy. Though it has got a predominant role in our spiritual journey. Unless there is a comprehensive effort, we will not be able to. Anything more? Then we will have 5 times Ram Nam in a slow motion. with all these thoughts in our background. And see for ourselves what it touches and kindles in us. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Jai
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om.